Welcome and good evening, everyone. It's good to be back. This will be my 11th seminar for the Teachers Institute. And if you're familiar with what I've done in the past, I like to emphasize hands-on science. And I think the topic of this seminar, the chemistry of cooking, is perfect for that. In fact, I can go back to when I was in the first grade. I was in Cub Scouts. And if you're familiar with Cub Scouts, you can get badges. The first one you get is a tiger badge, and then you can do activities to get arrows. And some of you may remember that. And I got probably a dozen arrows for doing cooking activities. That was my favorite. I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably a lead in to my interest in chemistry because cooking and chemistry are very closely related to each other. And so what I aim to do in this seminar is to use hands-on activities to illustrate science and then talk about exactly what's going on. So for example, you cook bread, it smells wonderful. Why does it smell wonderful? What's happening? Well, it turns out that there's a chemical reaction. It's called the Maillard reaction that occurs between sugars and proteins. And that's what gives this wonderful smell. And so we'll talk, that'll lead into what is a protein, what is a sugar, and why does it change when you do something like cook bread. I was in the first grade doing cooking, and I think this is a wonderful topic for younger elementary school children. I think all younger kids are interested in science, and hands-on activity is a great way to make, and cooking is a great way to make science relevant to elementary school kids. But it's actually not so simple, and it leads into topics that are appropriate for high school all the way up to AP. So that's my goal. So we're going to do things like understand why things smell the way they do, why things taste the way they do. Why do egg whites turn white when you cook them? We'll go into detail. Why do oil and vinegar not mix? What are the reasons for that? We'll talk about the chemistry, but we'll also do some activities to illustrate that. So one of the things I also do is have each of the fellows in the seminar do a demonstration, an activity for everyone. This can lead into all kinds of interesting activities and even some discussions that maybe range a little bit outside of chemistry. So for example, I led a seminar on this topic 9 years ago. One of the fellows taught us how to make Navajo fried bread, which was wonderful to do and also to eat. But we also learned a little bit of history about the Trail of Tears and how that came about. And so those are some of the kinds of discussions that we'll do in this seminar. As I said, it's going to be focused on science, but it would be appropriate, I think, for any STEM area for fellows to take this seminar. And I look forward this summer to working with those of you who take the seminar. Thanks.